then it looks like there's an economic imperative. As we've discussed many times on this channel, the problem with following the science is that the science follows the money. That science is, of course, a method of discovery and exploration and the realization of ingenuity, instantiated, realized and underwritten in ways that no other discipline, not art, can provide. But if the science is a subset of economics, only experimentation is funded that may be profitable, where studies are ignored if they don't lead to outcomes that will be profitable, then it's not science, is it? It's a sort of marketing tool. Other committee members similarly emphasise the importance of a universal booster message that applies to all age groups. Who's that good for? See, in a sense, the whole anti-vaccine movement is perhaps predicated on the problem that what might be good for a society may not be good for an individual. An individual might have health concerns that means they don't fit into that demographic group that easily. If you start then applying economic imperatives that are convenient both to the state, regulatory bodies, and of course, in particular, Big Pharma, then the needs of the individual become even more paramount, because then you recognise, hold on a minute, I can't even trust these institutions. Once the trust in the state and state-appointed agencies breaks down, and the only real power is the power of the corporation and the lobbying power of these corporations and the ability to pursue profits that these corporations have engineered, then the reasons to trust the state, it break down entirely. You're experiencing that in your own life. I know what I said then was a bit wordy, but it's not an abstract thing. The reason that you feel like you can't trust the media, you can't trust the government, you can't trust big business is because of the sort of creeping fog of, let's call it late capitalism or corporate capitalism or whatever phrase seems right to you. I'm not on one side of this argument, by the way, because I don't know what's right for you and your family. I know there's people in this room that have different views to me on this subject. And guess what? We get on with our lives by respecting each other's individual freedom. Dr. David Kimberlin, editor of the American Academy of Pediatrics Red Book, speaking on his own behalf. Seems unnecessary. Why include that? And I'm speaking on my behalf here, not this guy. Who, sorry? No, I'm just saying I'm speaking on my... Okay, carry on. We assume that. Speaking on his own behalf, said, Americans are yearning for, are crying out for a simpler way for looking at this pandemic. It's very poetic, isn't it? Yearning and crying out. This is yearning. And this is crying out. Ah! Good that he's making clear he's only speaking on his own behalf, because he's like a mad poet. He suggested that not recommending boosters for young children would create confusion that could also bleed over to 12 to 17-year-olds and even the adult population. It's not going to create confusion. We know what words mean. We know that children are different. Like, right, alcohol is allowed for adults. Well, and children and dogs and cats. No, adults.